Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a really fascinating submission to dig into today.
Oh, yeah.
It's from one of our listeners, actually. Look at how a solo founder really took the reins on their startup's growth.
Okay, interesting.
We're talking about pitchbob.io. It's an AI platform for early-stage entrepreneurs, helps them with their pitches.
PitchBob, right.
Exactly. So instead of sticking with their, $2,000 a month SEO agency, this founder just went, nope, I'm building my own system.
Wow, okay. Bold move for a solo founder.
Right. And
Yeah.
for you, our listener, always looking to get insights fast, this is, well, it's pretty much gold.
So a shortcut to effective, budget-friendly SEO.
That's the idea. We've got this article detailing 15 specific strategies they used.
15. Okay, comprehensive.
Yeah, so our mission today is to, pull out the most actionable stuff, the things you could potentially use, even without a huge team or a massive budget.
Absolutely. Because what jumps out immediately is that initiative, right? They didn't just outsource it and forget it.
They get their hands dirty.
Exactly. They experimented, built something tailored. It really highlights that SEO isn't some, dark art only agencies with big budgets can do.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where did they start? The article mentions site health as the foundation.
Yeah, and that's spot on. It's the bedrock. You can't build much on shaky ground,
So what does that actually mean day to day? They were using tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs.
Right, for regular checkups. Think of it like a car MOT, but for your website.
Okay. Checking what exactly?
The key technical bits, broken links, digital dead ends, basically.
Yeah.
Crawl errors, roadblocks for Google.
Right.
Slow page speeds, major user frustration point, and mobile usability issues. Super important these days.
They had a target score, something like 90 plus on-site health.
Yeah, aiming for above 90.
Yeah.
Because all those little technical glitches, they add up.
How so?
Well, they make it harder for search engines to crawl and index your site properly, and just as importantly, they hurt the user experience.
People just leave if it's slow or broken.
Yeah. Exactly. High bounce rates, which tells search engines, maybe this isn't such a great result. So yeah, technical health first, absolutely crucial groundwork.
Makes perfect sense. Get the foundation solid. Okay, what about link building? Always a challenge.
Definitely.
The founder used something called ADC link exchanges. It sounds a bit complex. How does that work?
It's actually quite clever. It's about getting quality links without looking like you're just artificially swapping them.
Which search engines don't like.
Exactly. The old, you link to me, I'll link to you, that can sometimes raise red flag. It looks a bit too obvious, potentially manipulative.
Right.
So the ABC exchange adds a layer. Site A links to Site B links to Site C, and then Site C links back to Site A.
Okay. It breaks the direct reciprocity.
Precisely. It distributes that link juice, the authority passed between sites, in a way that appears more natural, like organic connections forming across the web,
Yeah.
less likely to trigger penalties.
Smart. A more subtle approach. Okay, moving on to content. The article quotes this idea. Content is king, but structure is queen. Like that.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
And they used AI to create content clusters. What does that actually look like?
So think of it like organizing your knowledge. You have a main pillar page, a big comprehensive guide on a core topic for PitchBob.
Like maybe perfecting your startup pitch?
Something like that, yeah. Then you create lots of related smaller articles, the subtopics. These dive into specific long-tail keywords around pitching.
Long tail being more specific search terms.
Exactly, like how to create a pitch deck financial slide or best opening lines for an investor pitch.
Got it.
And crucially, you link all those subtopic articles back to the main pillar page and also to each other where relevant.
Creating a network.
Right, a silo or cluster. This tells search engines, hey, we know a lot about this whole topic. It builds topical authority.
And makes it easier for search engines to understand your site's focus.
And for users to navigate, keeping them engaged longer. Now, the AI part, that was about efficiency.
Right, generating all those subtopic articles.
Yeah, using AI writing tools to quickly create drafts focused on those specific long-tail keywords. It lets you build out that comprehensive structure much, much faster than writing everything manually.
That's a really clever use of AI to scale. Okay, another angle was multilingual SEO. Is that something startups should tackle early? Seems like a lot of work.
It really depends on who you're trying to reach.
Makes sense.
For pitchbob.io, their potential users are global, so sticking to just English would have, really limited their growth potential.
So it was necessary for them.
Pretty much. And what's interesting is how they did it pragmatically. using AI translation tools, which are getting pretty good to adapt their landing pages,
Yep.
blog posts, product info.
Making existing content work harder.
Exactly. And when they hit technical issues, they use subdomains for different regions. That's a good adaptable approach.
And, presumably, localized content performs better in regional search engines.
Oh, absolutely. People search in their own language, using local terms. It likely gave them a real edge in those non-English speaking markets.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. They built a community forum. How does that help with SEO? Seems more like, well, community building.
It's both, and the SEO value is significant. Think about user-generated content, or UGC.
Content created by users themselves.
Right. Search engines often love UGC because it's fresh, it's authentic, it uses the language real people use, and it answers specific questions.
Oh.
So they set up a forum using Discourse, apparently, and here's a clever bit. They initially seeded it with content using GPT-based prompts.
To kickstart the conversation.
Yeah, to simulate some initial activity and provide value from day one. But the key SEO part was structuring the forum categories around high-volume keywords related to startups.
Oh, so the forum itself becomes a searchable resource.
Exactly. A growing library of relevant content that gets indexed. Plus, a busy forum keeps people on your site longer, boosts engagement, builds trust, all positive signals for SEO.
Right, turning users into a content engine. Smart. Now this one surprised me. Data-driven press releases for SEO. I always thought PR was just PR.
Traditionally, yes. But you can be strategic about it.
How so?
The founder didn't just announce stuff. They focused releases around things like new feature launches or, crucially, research findings. They included original data or unique insights.
Oh, that important.
Because it makes the press release genuinely newsworthy, journalists are more likely to pick up something with fresh data.
Increasing the chance of syndication.
Exactly. It gets spread across multiple news outlets, blogs, etc., and each pickup often includes a backlink back to pitchbob.io.
And those links from news sites can be very authoritative.
Hugely valuable. They significantly boost your site's credibility in Google's eyes. So the takeaway is, make your PR actually useful and data-backed.
Got it. Create real news. Okay, what about directories? That feels a bit old school SEO. Do they still matter?
It's not about submitting everywhere like in the old days. That's spammy. But strategic directory submissions absolutely still have value.
Strategic how?
Focusing on reputable global directories, sure, but more importantly, industry-specific ones. Niche platforms relevant to startups, SaaS, AI, whatever fits PitchBob's world.
So, quality over quantity.
Definitely. And local business listings, if applicable. These often provide steady do-follow backlinks. Those are the ones that pass SEO value, you know.
The good ones.
They can also bring in some targeted referral traffic, and over time, they contribute to your overall domain authority, your site's trustworthiness score, especially helpful for ranking on those longer, more specific search terms.
Okay, so targeted and relevant directories are still in the mix.
Nice. Another point was about partnerships, turning them into backlinks proactively.
Yeah, this shows real hustle, I think. Not just forming partnerships, universities, accelerators, other ecosystem players.
But actively seeing the SEO opportunity there.
Exactly. They went out and asked for backlinks from these partners who often have high-authority websites themselves.
Is there a specific tactic they used? It mentions creating content around the partnership, like a joint blog post, a case study, even just a social media shout-out, and then using that as a natural reason to request a link.
Makes the ask less cold.
Much less. It's collaborative. Hey, we featured our work together here. Would you mind linking to it? It's effective for building a really strong backlink profile from trusted sources.
Very savvy. Okay, founder-led SEO sprints. What on earth are those?
Yeah, it sounds intense. Think of it as collaborative SEO work within a community.
Like a founder support group focused on SEO.
Kind of, yeah. Groups of founders get together, maybe virtually, and commit to helping each other out.
Wow.
Could be writing guest posts for each other's blogs, sharing relevant content, maybe even doing structured link exchanges within that trusted group.
Leveraging the community.
Exactly. For a solo founder especially, this is huge. It provides accountability, keeps momentum going on SEO tasks, helps build relationships, and expands everyone's visibility through shared efforts. Pooling resources, basically.
That sounds incredibly useful for someone flying solo. Okay, next up. Becoming a media contributor. Getting articles published on bigger platforms.
This is a big one for establishing authority.
What are the main SEO benefits? Is it just the traffic from the article?
The direct traffic might be moderate, honestly. The real SEO prize is the backlink.
from a high-authority domain.
Precisely. Getting a link from a respected business media site or whatever is relevant in your niche carries a lot of weight with search engines. That link juice we mentioned, it's potent from these sources.
So it significantly boosts your own site's credibility.
Massively. Plus, it positions you, the founder, as an expert, which builds brand reputation. It's a powerful, though maybe longer-term play.
Makes sense. Okay, here's one I hadn't really considered for SEO. Lifetime deal platforms, like AppSumo and such.
Yeah, exactly, those kinds of platforms. It's a bit of an unconventional tactic, but quite clever.
How does listing a deal there help SEO? Isn't it just for sales?
Primarily sales, yes. But think about the platform itself. They create a dedicated permanent page for your product deal.
Okay.
That page gets indexed by Google, and it almost always includes a backlink to your main website.
An automatic backlink on a potentially high-traffic site.
Right. And often, these deals get picked up by affiliate bloggers, reviewers, or discussed in online forums. They might link to the deal page or directly to your site. So it generates exposure and passive, long-lasting backlinks.
An indirect SEO win from a sales activity.
Interesting. What about product hunt launches? They're mentioned as a potential turning point.
Oh, yeah. A big product hunt launch can be huge for visibility, especially if you hit, like, product of the day or week.
Creates a lot of buzz.
A ton of buzz in the tech and startup world. And that buzz translates directly into backlinks.
How so?
Tech blogs, newsletters, curation sites, even individual influencers often cover popular product hunt launches. They all link back. It can be a sudden wave of valuable links.
So immediate link velocity. Exactly. And beyond the direct links, that surge of attention acts as a strong social signal to search engines. Plus, the increased direct traffic and general credibility boosts have positive indirect SEO effects, too.
Right. It signals that something interesting is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, nearly there. Partnering with events and conferences, even offline ones.
Yeah.
How does that fit into SEO?
It's about leveraging every touch point. When you sponsor, speak at, or even just exhibit at an event, virtual or physical, you usually get listed on their website.
On the sponsors page or speakers page.
Right. And those listings often include your logo, a short description, and crucially, a backlink to your company website.
Another source of backlinks.
Yep. Maybe not always super high authority links individually, but collectively, participating in several relevant events adds up. It expands your digital footprint and contributes to your domain authority, using that offline or virtual presence to boost online SEO.
Makes sense connecting the dots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looking ahead, the founder mentioned exploring podcasts as backlink gateways. What's the strategy there?
This is definitely a growing area for SEO. Guesting on podcasts.
Even smaller ones.
Yeah, even niche ones, because those podcasts usually get distributed widely. Think Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher.
The major platforms.
Right. And those platforms often create dedicated web pages for each episode.
And the show notes on those pages.
Exactly. The show notes frequently include links back to the guest's website, social profiles, etc.
So you get backlinks from Apple, Spotify. Those are high authority domains.
Precisely. Even if the podcast itself has a smaller audience, being listed on its episode page across these major distribution networks provides really strong SEO signals, tapping into their authority.
Clever. Okay, final point. After all these sort of specific tactics, the founder circles back to respecting the fundamentals.
Absolutely essential. You can't skip the basics.
What are those core things that just have to be right?
At the end of the day, it still comes down to having really good, substantial, original content on your key pages, your homepage, your service pages.
Content that actually helps the user.
Yes. And making sure that content is properly optimized for the keywords you want to rank for, so search engines understand what it's about.
And avoiding
Thin content pages with hardly anything on them, and duplicate content. Those are still things that can hurt your rankings.
So all these other strategies work best on top of a solid content foundation.
Exactly. All the clever link building or technical fixes won't fully work if the core content isn't there, isn't helpful, isn't high quality. That foundation is probably the most sustainable SEO strategy of all.
Right. So the big message here for you, our listener, seems pretty clear. Getting real organic growth, even on a startup budget, isn't some impossible dream.
Not at all.
This pitchbob.io story really shows it. It takes consistency, yeah, but also curiosity, being willing to learn and try different things.
A diverse set of strategies.
Right. Focusing on that solid site structure, being smart about partnerships, creating good content, leveraging communities, you really can build a powerful traffic engine yourself.
It's proof it can be done.
So thinking about all these different approaches, we've just broken down some conventional, some less so. Maybe the final thought is this. What's one unconventional strategy from this deep dive that you could explore?
Yeah.
How could you adapt one of these ideas, maybe the forum or the data-driven PR or even those LTD platforms, to your own specific situation and, start experimenting?
Exactly. It's about finding that leverage point that makes sense for your business, your context. Lots of opportunity there if you apply these creatively.